Here's the truth. Picking the wrong city in Hampton Roads could cost you thousands every single year. Whether it's higher property taxes, a brutal commute that eats away at your time, or buying into a market that just doesn't fit your lifestyle, Suffolk, Chesapeake, and Norfolk are very different. I've seen people make moves they regret because they didn't understand the trade-offs until it was too late. And fixing that mistake, it's not cheap. So in this video, we're breaking it all down. Suffolk versus Chesapeake versus Norfolk. The costs, the commutes, the lifestyle, the pros, and the cons. So you can avoid one of the most expensive mistakes of your life. I'm Jason Edwards with eXp Realty, a Navy veteran turned real estate advisor right here in Hampton Roads, Virginia. Before we dive in, just know this. Every single week, I have military families, first-time buyers, and out-of-state relocators reaching out to me asking, Jason, where should we live? And the honest answer is, it depends on you. If you're planning a move, buying, selling, or even investing here in Hampton Roads, all my contact information is down in the description. Call, text, or email me anytime. I'd love to hear your story. And if you're just starting out or like good free information, I've also got a home buyer's guide link there that you can grab today. All right, let's start with Suffolk, the biggest city in Virginia by land area and one of the fastest growing in the entire state. In fact, Suffolk's population has grown nearly 9% since 2020, making it the fastest growing city in Hampton Roads. The median home price here, according to the MLS for August of 2025, is right around $399,000 for attached and detached single-family homes. That makes Suffolk more affordable than Chesapeake, but more expensive than Norfolk. Property taxes here are $1.07 per $100 of assessed value, right in the middle compared to the others. So, what do you actually get for your money? Well, in Suffolk, you'll usually find bigger homes and bigger yards. Think 4-bedroom homes with plenty of space for kids, pets, or even that garden you've been dreaming about. Popular neighborhoods include Harborview, which has tons of restaurants and shopping nearby, Burnett's Mill, which is a great entry-level option in the low to mid 300,000s, and the riverfront at Harborview, which is golf course living at its finest. Now, one thing people always ask me about Suffolk is the commute. If you're working at Norfolk Naval Station, you're looking at about a 40 to 45 minute drive without traffic. If you're stationed at Portsmouth Naval Hospital, you can shave that down to around 30 minutes or so. It's doable, but it's not quick. As far as lifestyle costs go, groceries for a family of 4 usually run around $500 to $700 per month. Utilities are around $150 to $200 a month, and childcare here averages $800 to about $1,200 a month. Crime data is something people research on their own, but here are the facts. Suffolk's property crime rate sits at about 38.9%, which is above the national average, while violent crime is 17.7%, which is actually lower than the national average. The bottom line, Suffolk is for people who want space, a quieter pace, and don't mind driving a little further to work. And hey, we've also got Mr. Peanut himself watching over downtown and a whole festival dedicated to peanuts, the annual Peanut Fest held every October. So if you're a fan of peanuts, Suffolk's got you covered. So let me ask you, what's more important to you? More house for your money or a shorter drive? Now, let's talk about Chesapeake, which is kind of the middle ground in Hampton Roads, both figuratively and literally. The median price here in August 2025 was about $430,500, making it the most expensive of the three we're talking about today. But here's the kicker. Chesapeake also has the lowest property tax rate of the three at $1.01 per $100 of assessed value. That adds up, especially if you're in a higher price bracket. Chesapeake has built a reputation as a very family-oriented city, and a lot of that comes down to schools. Areas like Great Bridge, Grassfield, Hickory, and even Western Branch are known for strong public school ratings according to greatschools.org. That's a big draw for families. Commutes here are a little easier than Suffolk too. If you're headed to Norfolk Naval Station, it's usually around 25 to 30 minutes depending on traffic and location. If you're clever, you can use the Jordan Bridge to save time, but keep in mind that toll will cost you around $2.65 each way. The high-rise bridge and I-64 are also main routes. Lifestyle in Chesapeake is what I'd call classic suburban. We've got shopping centers, big box stores, and restaurants sprinkled throughout the city. For outdoor folks, Oak Grove Lake Park, one of my favorites, and Northwest River Park give you plenty of space to hike, fish, or just relax. On the crime side, Chesapeake falls somewhere in the middle. Lower violent crime rates than Norfolk and fairly average compared to other suburban cities in the US. So who does Chesapeake fit best? Families who want a balance of schools, amenities, and commute convenience. You'll pay more for housing, but you'll often save on taxes, and you won't have to spend quite as much time in the car as someone living in Suffolk. Would you pay a couple bucks a day for a faster drive, or would you avoid tolls altogether? I can tell you one thing, when they first implemented the tolls on the downtown tunnel and I lived in Suffolk driving to Naval Station Norfolk, I happily paid them because a lot of people didn't want to and it cut way down on the traffic. It was awesome. Not so much anymore, people have kind of gotten used to the tolls, unfortunately. All right, now let's move into Norfolk, the oldest and most urban of the three. Norfolk has the lowest median home price at $325,000 as of August 2025. That's a big difference compared to Chesapeake and Suffolk. But Norfolk also has the highest property tax rate at $1.23 per $100 of assessed value. What you trade in taxes, though, you make up in convenience. Living in Norfolk means you're right in the middle of the action. If you're stationed at Naval Station Norfolk, your commute could be as short as 10 to 20 minutes. You might even be able to bike to work depending on where you live. Neighborhoods in Norfolk each have their own personality. Ghent is walkable, historic, and filled with coffee shops and restaurants. Ocean View gives you beachfront living at some of the most affordable prices in Hampton Roads. And Larchmont is popular with families, especially since it's close to Old Dominion University and the naval base. Now, let's talk lifestyle trade-offs. Yes, homes are more affordable to buy, but you'll usually get less square footage compared to Chesapeake or Suffolk. Crime is also higher here. Norfolk's property crime rate is about 51.8 incidents per 1,000 residents, which is significantly higher than Suffolk or Chesapeake. That's not my opinion, that's FBI reported data. But, and this is a big but, Norfolk has the most vibrant arts, food, and entertainment scene of the three. Whether it's Waterside District on the waterfront, Chrysler Museum of Art, the Norfolk Tides at Harbor Park, the Scope, or just grabbing a drink at a local brewery, Norfolk has more of that big city energy. So who does Norfolk fit best? First-time buyers, young professionals, and anyone who wants to trade space for convenience and walkability. Would you trade more space for the convenience of city living? All right, let's put these three cities side by side so you can, well, side by side, so you can really see the trade-offs. Home prices. Suffolk is right around $399,000. Chesapeake comes in higher at $430,500. Norfolk is the most affordable at $325,000. Property taxes. Chesapeake is the lowest at $1.01. Suffolk sits in the middle at $1.07, and Norfolk is the highest at $1.23. Now commute times. Suffolk to Naval Station Norfolk, 40 to 45 minutes without traffic, depending on where in Suffolk you live. Chesapeake, usually 25 to 30 minutes. Norfolk, 10 to 20 minutes, maybe even less. Lifestyle costs. Suffolk gives you more house for your money and lower daily expenses, but longer drives. Chesapeake is a balance. Higher home prices, but lower taxes and easier access. Norfolk is cheapest to buy into, but ongoing costs like higher taxes and insurance, plus the higher crime rate, balance that out. So it really comes down to priorities. Suffolk if you want space, Chesapeake if you want balance, Norfolk if you want convenience. So let's make this practical. If you're a family looking for space and you don't mind driving a little further, Suffolk could be the right fit. If you're military, want strong schools, and prefer a more suburban vibe, Chesapeake might check the most boxes. And if you're a young professional, first-time buyer, or someone who just wants to be close to the action, Norfolk could be the best choice. No matter which one you choose, you'll still deal with Hampton Roads traffic. That's part of life here. But each city really does offer a completely different lifestyle. For a deeper dive on all three of these cities, take a look at some of the other videos on my channel. I've linked a few of the playlists below in the description. So, which city would you pick? Suffolk, Chesapeake, or Norfolk? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Every week, I have people just like you, military families, veterans, first-time buyers, sellers, reaching out to me with this exact question. And that's what I love doing, helping folks make confident, informed decisions. All my contact information is right in the description below. Call, text, or email me. Let's talk through your specific situation. And if you're just starting out or just interested in good information, don't forget to grab my free home buyer's guide, also linked down there. I upload new videos every single week about living in Hampton Roads, so make sure you hit that subscribe button before you go. And stick around, you'll see a couple more videos popping up on your screen right meow that might help you with your move. I'll talk to you soon.